Here we go. So the next scene is, this is actually one where you, like when you actually had to take control of the player. So when you start the scene, how do you take control of the player, and how do you not do it in a janky, sharp way where the player super notices, i.e. you run into an invisible trigger volume and suddenly a cutscene fires and you're like, whoa, 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 what was that? So a lot of times we used interaction points. So the player would interact on the point, the scene would start, we'd be able to push the player over to animation controlled, push the camera over to animation controlled, let the scene play out in front of us of Gillenane and the dragon, have the players in the background being launched back towards us to help motivate the camera motion back along with us, and then you get the player back to, excuse me, ooh, that's a different cinematic. So like a go, and they were like, let's see. And here's an example of one that is like in the game. Like so we have the character. I actually got to direct the mocap for there's a lot of stuff. They put a bunch of fog over there, and I'm like, why'd they do that? Because they're supposed to see the guy get on it and like stab the tentacle. We like totally mocap that, but then again, game development towards the end is never built on full dreams. It's built on what you can accomplish with the dreams you had along the way. And the dreams that were inside us all along. So this one's kind of a brutal one, but I kind of like, it's like I got to actually do the keyframes for the Hala, the deer that's there, and it's supposed to be this blood sacrifice, and it's supposed to be really intense. The player has control of the player and the camera. You could turn around and not look at this as soon as you see it. So we're trying, it's like drawing the attention when you walk into space. Everybody's looking this direction. The player is drawn to look this way. They are. Their focus is, every bit of the focus when you walk into this space is about, let's see, can I do it? Is about what's going on. There's a crowd over here, there's a player going over here, there's sound going over here, there's light going over here. There's like, it's just like shaking everything you can. Like, this is the thing over here, because I like scenes where we don't take control of the player. And like the best live cinematics for me are the ones where the player is in full control of the player movement and the player camera, and yet is still invested into the scene. That's when it's done right, and when it's done right, the player doesn't notice they're being drawn in like that. So one thing that I noticed though, when trying to like even look for any outside work for that, this is to your question earlier about doing comparative with different studios with what I noticed. What I noticed when I look